It's so cool to be alive. I don't care what you think about me, 'cause I'm living life.
I'm moving too far. Get the glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I be big in the game like she winning hearts. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you have swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We are hating because you want, shining like it's neon.
What's up, all about the Birds Nation? This is Birds, Beers, and BS. Your host, as always, Peenut, myself, Eagle Jeff Warner. And we have a great show on tap for you, ladies and gentlemen, today. A lot to dive into, as it was a busy week around the NFL and the world of sports. We'll dive into, there was a big NFL trade regarding a quarterback to a team ahead of the Eagles and how it will change the atmosphere of the Eagles drafting at 12 in a couple weeks. Of course, big wrestling event this weekend. If you're not a wrestling fan, Wrestlemania will return with fans this weekend. So we'll have a little bit of discussion about our top Wrestlemania moments. We'll discuss that a little bit later on. Also, the offseason we're a couple months into it, so we'll discuss on how Howie Roseman, how we feel that he has done this offseason so far. But to lead off the show, big Eagles news this week. Well, not big Eagles news, but they signed a linebacker, surprisingly, and they signed linebacker Eric Wilson from the Minnesota Vikings. So but major upgrade over what we have right now, in my opinion. He's a guy that led the team in tackles last season on a bad Minnesota Vikings defense. So he brings that tackling mentality, and he's a tackling machine. He also is familiar with the defense, working under Mike Zimmer, who John Gannon worked with in Minnesota for a little bit. So definitely an upgrade over what we have here in Philadelphia. So, Peenut, your thoughts on the big Eagles signing this week?
Solid signing, man. I like it. We signed a linebacker, a solid linebacker. Thank you for that. I don't know. I can't really complain about anything yet. He's not a game changer, but it's a solid player on the linebacker front. So yeah, I'm pro linebacker signings.
Well, yeah, he's not Ray Lewis, he's not Brian Urlacher, he's not Mike Singletary, but over the direct that we had at our linebacking core currently, with no offense to Alex Singleton, they get TJ Edwards back. They have two unproven guys in the back end of the roster with Davion Taylor and Sean Bradley. They had to make some type of upgrade, and to get a guy that has that starting experience in this league and has had, for the most part, success and is familiar with the defense. And you got him relatively on the cheap end. He signed that 1-year proven type of deal worth up to $3.25 million. He spent his first 4 seasons with the Vikings, and new Eagles defense coordinator Jonathan Gannon was on Mike Zimmer's staff during Wilson's rookie year before joining Frank Reich's staff in Indianapolis. Also, Wilson started 4 games in 2018 and 6 in 2019, but last year was his first as a full-time starter, where he had 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 3 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss, 9 quarterback hits, and 122 tackles.
Not bad.
So,
not bad.
Like I said, he's not going to be that much of a difference maker in my opinion, but he's definitely an upgrade over what we have currently with our linebacking core.
Could he be like a fly under the radar potential star?
Well, no, he's definitely a starter.
Okay.
He's coming in day one. It's going to be him and Alex Singleton right now, I feel, is your nickel linebackers. As for the third, it's going to depend on what Gannon feels is more comfortable in his scheme. If it's going to be T.J. Edwards as that third linebacker, and they're going to give Davion Taylor some playing time, Sean Bradley, who they drafted last season. And you have to remember, they did convert Jannard Avery from defensive end to linebacker as well. So you have another guy at linebacker. Most of these guys are probably going to be special teamers, but Eric Wilson is definitely a guy. He's a little bit undersized. I understand that's one thing that people are a little bit worried about, especially going up against some of these big physical running backs. Can he handle that type of ground and pound running game? Right. And also against some of these big physical tight ends. Right. He's a guy that has some good coverage skills, but is he going to be able physically to be able to contain these guys? Like, not saying they're playing Tampa Bay this year, but like a Gronk or a Travis Kelce. Those type of guys.
Well, we have to face Elliott twice a year. We have to face Saquon.
Well, that's the running backs.
Like, if you know what I mean? Like, whatever. Good signing, solid signing.
It's a good signing.
With it. Yeah.
And I understand people are saying, well, why was he available? Is he really that good? The fact that he is available this late into the offseason, just a couple weeks before the draft.
Right.
And I really don't buy too much into that. Like I said, he's not a superstar, but he has the potential to be a decent player for this defense. And to get him relatively on the cheap at $3.25 million for a starting linebacker in this league, that's a steal in my opinion. And a guy that already somewhat knows the system, what probably something similar that Gannon's going to run. Yeah. The only thing is that this probably definitely puts in doubt, and we've talked about last week, is them drafting a linebacker in the first round.
Yeah, or maybe it doesn't though. Maybe they got they got this guy to kind of groom whatever rookie they decide to bring in. No, it's possible.
No,
it's possible.
It's not. They might draft a linebacker later on, but they're not drafting with that number 12 pick. Right. They are not drafting Micah Parsons or one of these other linebackers.
If they do draft a linebacker, you should have to wear a mohawk for the after.
It's not happening. They haven't drafted a linebacker in the first 2 rounds since Michael Kendricks in 2012.
So they're due. They're due. It's like a volcano. You know what I'm saying?
No, they drafted Kendricks in the second round.
Nah, I agree with you. I'm just fucking with you. But seriously, I wouldn't mind a linebacker that early. Not at all.
But the 26-year-old Wilson stands at 6'1", 230 pounds. He joins the Eagles linebacking corps that has very little in terms of experience beyond undrafted Alex Singleton, who made his first 11 career starts last year, and undrafted T.J. Edwards, who started 12 games last year as well. So a very inexperienced linebacking corps, but he's a guy that can ball. He's a guy that can make plays, and he's going to be one of those underrated signings that we're going to be talking about, I feel, towards the end of next season, saying they made a good signing. The thing is,
but we only got him for a year, though, right?
For right now, but if you play, that's the thing. A lot of these guys are getting 1-year deals. Not a lot of teams are throwing money around. So a lot of these guys, especially guys in their prime or before their prime, he's only 26 years old. In his eyes, I can perform well. If I'm not going to be here after this next season, I'll get paid by another team once everyone's salary cap is back in order.
It's not a bad deal, though. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that sucks is what if he does ball out?
You know, and pay him. Then that's a positive sign. The only thing I agree with you, if he does ball out, you got one of his best seasons on a year where you're not potentially going to make that much of an impact as far as making a deep playoff run, which anything can happen. I know we keep on talking on a weekly basis that we don't know what this team is made of. We don't know if they're really a Super Bowl contending team. We don't know what we have in Jalen Hurts. We don't know what we have as head coach with Nick Sirianni. And granted, we're less than 3 weeks away till the start of the NFL draft. This team is nowhere near close to being assembled for the final game day roster as of right now. We have 11 picks in the draft. So
you know why we're scared though? You know what we do know? We know Howie Roseman. And I think that's what kind of like is the catalyst to this whole situation. I think honestly, I think how, and this is completely my opinion. I'm sure I'm going to get ragged for this, but I think he does have a plan. And personally, I think the defense is going to be one of those things he's going to target during this draft. I don't know what you got. Look, I want a linebacker that early. I'm sure we're not going to get it, but I'm sure he's going to start addressing the defensive side of the ball eventually.
Well, they're going to have to, because this was a defense that was an embarrassment last year, and they definitely have to address the defensive side of the football. They're moving in a different direction. Now's the time to do it. They move on from Jim Schwartz, who I don't know if you saw. He got for a guy that didn't want to play or coach next season. He got a new job with the Tennessee Titans as a consultant to their new defensive coordinator, which I get it. I understand Eagles fans are outraged, and according to reports of people around the league, Schwartz once Peterson was let go, he wasn't coming back. He wanted to be under Peterson. He did not want to be with this management without Peterson here. Yeah. So once Peterson was let go and they decided to move on from him,
he was ride or die. He was like, nah, man, you fire him. All right, cool, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, the defense got stagnant anyways. No offense to Schwartz, he's a genius. He's
not a genius.
He's a good defensive-minded coach.
He's a decent defensive-minded coach, like you said. But the whole reason for the signing is apparently he has some health issues, and he lives in Tennessee. He lives in Nashville, so it's close to home. Yeah. And I feel he's sort of hoping that one day he wants to get a head coaching job again. And for some reason, if Mike Vrabel doesn't pan out, they decide to have a short leash with him down the line, and they decide to move on from him. Maybe they give Schwartz another shot. Being from the hometown or living in hometown Nashville, close to home, close to his doctors. Yeah. He's already helping with defensive coordinator, so he has that relationship. Yeah. So there could be a possibility. But yeah, last year's defensive stats were not very good. Hell no. As the Eagles ranked in points allowed 20th in the league, 19th in yards allowed. Turnovers, they were 22nd. They gave up they were 14th in first downs. It was just an abysmal defensive performance, which a lot of that was on the scheme and the game plan, but a lot of that was also on the players that you had on the defense side of football. You expected a lot more from some of these guys, like Nicole Roby-Coleman, who you signed. You expected a little bit more early on from Javon Hargrave, who picked things up in the second half of the season, thankfully, but by then it was a little bit too late. Darius Slay was somewhat of a little bit of a letdown. You had injuries to Rodney McLeod, so Schwartz only could work with what he could deal with, and that's why you need to address the defense side of football. And they somewhat did that this offseason a little bit. They signed Harris, the safety. Now they got Wilson, the linebacker. So I feel they're going to address a lot of these holes on the defense side of football through the draft, like you said. Yeah, but the defense was on the field way too much last year. You know what I'm saying? So any defense that's going to be on the field that long, listen, how many 3-and-outs did we have this season? I'm sure it had to be up there. We had to be within like the last 2 or 3 teams, because I'm telling you, this defense was on the field so much. Honestly, we just got worn out, man. And listen, the scheme wasn't great. There were a couple players that were injured and whatnot, but seeing the defense on the field that much, that's never a good sign for a good defense. Well, yeah, because time of possession for the offense, the Eagles were 31st in the league. Defense, which I don't know if they mean 4th best or 4th worst, but I feel it's 4th. They were on the field the 4th most in the NFL. 4th worst, man. Yeah. So I agree with you, but again, you only can execute the players. You only can execute the scheme with the players that you have. Right. And if you're down to a bunch of scrubs at linebacker and Avonte Maddox and whoever at cornerback and moving Jalen Mills throughout the whole entire defensive secondary, you don't expect good results no matter who the hell your defensive coordinator is. True. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, man. But I'm good with the signing. It was a cheap deal. A lot more. It was one of those low risk, high reward type of deals. A guy that's not going to invest too much into your team. After this year, if he doesn't pan out, you can move on from him. The only thing I don't like about it, I feel it hinders them from drafting a linebacker relatively early. Probably, I feel in the first 3 rounds. They might go one with their second, third round pick. Right. But I honestly don't feel they're going to draft a linebacker until maybe the 4th or 5th round, maybe around that area. I disagree. I respectfully disagree. I think they're not drafting on the first round at least. First round pick is going to be a linebacker. It is. We're having the freaking offensive lineman. Well, this is linebacker week, not offensive lineman week. You are a freaking switcher. This is new Peanut. No, I'm telling you, I'm going to keep it real with you. Not the first round, but they're going to go. I'm telling you, you're going to see I don't think they go second round either. If anything, they might go third round. I don't know the whole draft board. I don't know where. I don't know. Where the hell's Tommy at? Yeah, we need a draft expert. Call us Tommy. Jesus fucking Christ. But they definitely need to at least address the linebacking position in this draft or next year's draft, because you're very thin on talent. You don't have that big playmaker. You need the quarterback of the defense, and that's that middle linebacker. You need that guy. Well,
we're going to get that guy.
Well, even before that, we obviously for the longest time, the middle linebacker wasn't the leader of the defense. It was always Malcolm Jenkins or Michael Kendricks when he was in the linebacking core. He was the outside linebacker. He was the one that was bringing in the plays from the defensive coordinator. But I would say that was one signing that the Eagles did this past week. There was another signing as a former Eagle, no longer former Eagle, returns to the nest as the Eagles do sign running back Jordan Howard to the roster. Pretty much. Jordan Howard, 26-year-old. He'll be 27 halfway through the season.
He's only 27 years old.
Yeah.
Damn, I feel like Jordan Howard should be like a 30-year-old or something. 27.
Well, he should, but the last couple seasons, he was with two teams last year. He was with Miami and Philly. In 2 games with the Eagles, he only had 7 rushes for 27 yards, which, granted, that's not to his fault. The fact that Doug Peterson wasn't using him properly, wasn't using the running game in general properly. Miles Sanders, I think, only eclipsed 20 total touches, I think twice the entire season.
Yeah.
But I was in 2019 when he was here with the Eagles for most of the season. For 10 games, 4 starts, he had 119 rushes for 525 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's relatively a guy when given the rock and given the opportunity, he gets you a decent average, and he brings you that change of pace back that the Eagles desperately needed.
That pound part of the ground.
Yeah, we need the ground and pound. That was Miles Sanders, Boston Scott. They're great backs, but they're not going to be that guy that's going to get you that short yardage. The only thing I need to see, and I better not fucking see it once with Sirianni this season, is if we're in fucking goal line on 1st and goal and you're in goddamn shotgun position.
Yep. I'm with you on that one. Now, I don't think Sirianni's going to do that, though. I don't think he's that kind of coach.
I don't think he is.
But yeah, that's frustrating as fuck.
I would say the fact that we saw Dougie P do that so often, when everyone knows you're probably going to run it. If you're going to run it, and I understand the one thing
you're losing 2 or 3 yards.
What faults them is they don't keep a traditional fullback.
It is Sirianni going to keep a fullback?
I don't know. I don't think he is. They really didn't keep that in Indianapolis with Reich. But typically, if they do something, if they do a power back package,
they throw a tight end up.
Yeah, they'll either have a tight end or an extra offensive lineman in the backfield to push the line a bit.
Got you.
As we all Madden, the power formation.
Yeah, hell yeah. I do that shit all the time. Listen, Sirianni, if you do that shit, you are done.
But quickly, what are your thoughts on Jordan Howard returning to the nest?
I yawned because technically he's just another body at this point. Now, he could turn out to be something great, but at this point, I don't even see the guy making the roster. Like, I really don't.
He's making the roster.
I don't know, man. I don't think anything is certain. And if you take into account all these guys that practice squad guys like Boston Scott, Fulgham, like guys that really ball out, I think this coach, honestly, is everything's going to be predicated on who is the biggest hustler, the biggest bruiser, anyone that's willing to put 150% into it. And these guys have been doing this for years and never got a shot. So this year is going to be the year when you see guys like Boston Scott really break out, where you see guys that hustle harder than like even wide receiver core. Like some of these guys, it's all predicated on competition, and I don't feel like Jordan Howard is going to be competing for the job.
No,
I think he thinks he has the job.
He's not competing for a job, and he knows his role coming in here. This is a guy that's been moving around the league over the last couple of seasons, really hasn't been able to find that groove and stick with that team, and he knows his role. He's not an every down running back. Right. He's a guy that can come in, help in pass protection, and get that ground and pound short yardage for your team. And I feel he understands that role. And a situational type of guy, a guy that they'll change the pace of back, and they need a couple yards, or they want to try to push the rock a little bit, ground and pound. He for a guy at his age, and he doesn't have a lot of
his age. He's not that old.
Well, he's not that old, and he doesn't have that much of wear and tear on his body.
Right.
Granted, his first couple seasons, he had over 200 carries on the ground, where he had over both seasons over 1,000 yards for the Chicago Bears. So he's a guy that can be an efficient running back in this league.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that has proven to be a proven starter. It's just finding that groove, and I feel a little bit more comfortable with him if Miles Sanders goes down than Boston Scott as my full-time running back.
All right, I agree with you on that one.
And nothing against Boston Scott.
He's not an every down back though.
He's undersized. One week you'll get production from him, and then the next week you don't.
I got you.
I agree. The only thing I didn't like about the Jordan Howard signing is if they were going to go for a guy like Jordan Howard, I kind of felt there were some better options out there.
All right.
I felt like they could have got Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack, who returned to Indianapolis with Frank Reich, I think for only $3 million.
Yeah.
So
Carson Wentz plays there now. He's like Super Bowl, man. I'm not going to Philly. Nobody wants to come to Philly. Like, we got lucky with Jordan Howard. Like, nobody wants to come to Philly. Everything looks like a mess. Why would any player want to play here? You know what I'm saying? I get the whole job thing. Like, that's why we got Jordan Howard. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyone that has a choice is not going to choose to play here. Not yet. You know what I'm saying? He
still had a choice. I don't know what the surrounding or what his interests out there from our teams were. But like I said, if a team was looking for depth at running back, Jordan Howard is definitely one of those names in the consideration, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just felt for the value. I don't think they announced his exact deal yet.
It's only a year deal, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It's only a year deal. I haven't seen what the deal is. It's probably nothing much. Probably a little bit over the veteran minimum. Probably some incentives, stuff like
Johnny,
that.
Put in the comments the details, because I'm sure he knows. We don't know shit like that. That's a Johnny U thing.
But look, Jordan Howard, he's a good back, but nothing that blows you off the mind. And that just brings us to our next topic of conversation, and is, what do you feel, Howie Roseman, how well do you think he has done this offseason as the Eagles GM? I understand he gets a lot of criticism, a lot of scrutiny because of the way he put us in this position this offseason.
Right.
But I'm going to let you go first. I want to know your thoughts. I'll give you mine. But how do you grade Howie Roseman for this offseason? Just this offseason. Nothing else.
A B.
Why is that?
I'm going to give him a B. And the reason why I'm giving him a B is sometimes when you're in charge of things, you have to make tough decisions. And mind you, those decisions might go against the grain. So far, so good. I wasn't happy about the trade back at first, especially knowing that I have to see Dallas and New York pick right before we have to pick, which is unpopular. But this year, I mean, we already know this year is almost a wash. Like, let's just face it, we're not winning the Super Bowl this year, no matter what, right?
We feel that.
I mean, come on. I mean, I'm sure like the players know, not the players, but you know, they have to know we're not going to win this year. But he stacked us for next year. You know what I'm saying? Unless he trades all that for, you know what I mean? Like, this might be outdated come September with whatever Howie has planned. But so far, seeing what he's doing, stacking these picks, getting the ones, I have to give him a B, because honestly, like, it deserves a solid B. And that's only for now. I'm sure it might change in 2 weeks or tomorrow or probably tonight. It'll be like, Howie just traded all those first round picks. We're getting Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, a lot could definitely change. We're 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks away till the NFL draft. So I'm just grading on him what I've seen from him over the last 3 months.
What you give him?
I'm going to agree with you. I'll maybe go a little bit higher. I'll go B+. And because we didn't know how this offseason was going to pan out. We thought we were going complete turnover with our roster because of our cap situation, because of Howie. I'm not discrediting him for what he has done and put us in a position for this offseason. Because of him, because of those bad deals, we're basically, we have our hands tied behind our back because we can't do anything, and I get that. But I'm just grading him on this offseason so far, heading into the draft, because pretty much the rest of this offseason, I don't feel them making that. I don't see them making any really big moves until the draft or on draft day, like moving Zach Ertz or some of these guys. But
you think we move Zach Ertz?
I feel we move Zach Ertz on draft day.
Okay.
Probably second or third day, depending on if a guy falls or team or whatever. But we'll get into that on a later show.
Gotcha.
But Howie, we knew the situation with Carson Wentz. We knew the situation because of with Doug Peterson. They move on from Doug Peterson. I understand Howie gets a lot of blame for that. But we didn't know how things were going to pan out with Carson Wentz. And the fact that he was able to get potentially a first-round draft pick for Carson Wentz after some of the deals that we've seen this offseason, for some quarterbacks, I felt the Eagles got tremendous value for Carson. I'm not worried about what he does. If he wins them a Super Bowl, great. Good change of scenery. He is familiar with Frank Wright as his head coach, where he had one of his best seasons as a quarterback. So I expect Carson to excel under Frank Wright and Indianapolis.
Do you want him to excel?
I don't care. Unless it affects the Philadelphia Eagles, the only thing I don't want him to happen, I don't want him getting hurt. I want him to play as many snaps or make the playoffs for us to get that first round pick.
I think on the first show you got so mad at me because I was like, I want him to do good. And you're like, why would you do that?
Well, no, I'm not going to root for him.
Okay.
You said I'll root for him.
Okay, I will root for him.
I'm not going to root for him. Oh. I don't wish him any hard will. I don't want him getting hurt. Whatever happens with the Indianapolis Colts. That's on them.
Okay.
So
I got you.
I'm not worried about the Colts. I'm not worried about Carson besides his playing time and making sure we get that first rounder. So the fact that you're able to get a first rounder next year, and then you're able to get a third rounder this year in a relatively deep draft where you have now 4 draft picks within the first 100 picks at the moment.
He did pretty good.
He did pretty good on that deal. Then you bring in some veteran leadership with Harris, with Wilson. So you're what happened to no No,
I said no. I said no.
Same bullshit.
You know what? We did good too. We haven't said it once. I haven't heard
until now. Until now.
But
he was able to get some decent veterans in here on relatively cheap deals, prove-it deals that can fill some holes, and you have potential to keep long term if they pan out.
Buy some time.
Yeah, exactly. You don't do a complete roster turnover. You're able to restructure deals with a lot of the big veterans that you thought you were going to have to move on from this season, where you're going to have to go through a complete rebuild.
Right.
And that's the one thing I feel the Eagles are looking forward to next season, but they still don't want to move past this season. They still want to be somewhat competitive.
Right.
And because of that, that's the reason why they kept Brandon Brooks, why they kept Fletcher Cox. Granted, they're going to move on from Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson, Malik Jackson. So those guys are definitely out the door. But
if you a Jackson, that's the Jackson 3 right there. They're gone.
Yeah, pretty much. So Howie, the fact that he was able to get our cap situation somewhat under control and relatively where we can make some moves.
B+?
I give him B+ for that.
Okay.
And then, of course, you have the big deal, which I know a lot of people are still skeptical about the decision to trade down from 6 to 12, including myself. But again, if they're truly in a rebuild mode,
right,
in their eyes,
which they are,
and if they feel that this ain't a 1-year turnaround, that this is going to take a couple of years,
right?
The fact that you got another first rounder next year, potentially now you have 3 first rounders, you have 4 picks in the first 100 picks this season.
Are you giving some Howie love?
I am giving some Howie some love.
Some Howie love.
I'm not discrediting him. I don't forgive him for what he put our franchise through.
Giving us the Super Bowl and all. You're right.
Well, he gave us a Super Bowl, and I understand. I don't feel that was completely all him. I feel if you take away the worst season and the best season from Howie, you get somewhat the middle, you get somewhat the average of an Eagles team.
Okay.
But the one thing under Howie, and we can scrutinize him all we want.
Right.
The one thing that since Howie Roseman has been GM.
Yeah.
We have been a competitive football team.
That's right.
Whether we are backdooring into the playoffs, whether it takes till week 17, we're still in there and competing till the last game of the season in the regular season to try to make the postseason. You know how many franchises would fucking love that?
Yeah.
Look at the fucking Giants.
Look at them. Sorry, Danny. Sorry, Tommy. Emily, and anyone else that's a Giants fan.
The New York Giants, I don't know their record offhand, but I don't think have been competitive or really been a team in contentions for years. Yeah, you look at the last few seasons. Last year they were 4-12. 2018, 5-11. 2017, 3-13. And then their last playoff, I think they missed the playoffs that year. They were second in the NFC. They were 11-5, but I believe they missed it. I can't remember that year.
And that was with good players. You had Odell Beckham. You had Saquon.
No, they made the playoffs. They lost in the wild card round that year. But
good for them.
Yeah, Ben McAdoo had to fill in for when they fired, I think, Tom Coughlin that season.
Yeah. But I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah.
Oh, no, Ben McAdoo is the head coach.
I'm going to be honest. This is going to be known as the Howie episode, man. The moment Jeffrey was like, you know what, Howie Roseman isn't that bad. He is actually pretty good.
No, I'm not saying he's pretty good.
Why not?
He definitely has his weaknesses. Look at his draft.
Everyone has weaknesses.
But
Thanos had weaknesses.
He has weaknesses.
The Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay.
Give the guy some slack, man.
But his weakness has set back this franchise multiple years. If it wasn't for him, we would. I don't feel we would be in the situation. We hit on at least half of our draft picks over the last 3-4 seasons.
Yeah, I agree with that. Listen, we have to pay the piper though. We won the Super Bowl. He bet everything just to get this trophy.
But it wasn't from
we have to deal with the fucking backlash.
But it wasn't from the draft picks. The only reason we won that Super Bowl, okay, one draft pick somewhat panned out that season. Carson Wentz. Besides that, he made a deal with the genie or a devil or something.
He probably did.
That every single move he had that offseason worked.
Yeah.
Where it's not happening now. I feel he's trying to use that same mentality, and that's the reason why we're in the situation we were in. Because he felt those same guys can still play at a high level, knowing they're injury prone and that they're on the decline of their career.
Well, here's the thing. I think he was trying to be. I'm sorry, you were coughing, COVID coughing. He was trying to just look. Everyone's like, oh, when Dawkins left, everyone was like, yo, we should have paid Dawkins. We should have kept him here. He should have retired an Eagle.
Well, that wasn't Howie.
So it's not Howie. You're right.
That was Banner.
But I think he learned from that. So he's trying to make sure, like, I'm going to take care of these guys. Like, he wants people to play here. He wants people to retire here. And then as soon as, like, guys get old and can't perform the way they do, Howie has to take that brunt of the
certain guys I understood. But the fact that Alshon Jeffrey, you didn't know what type of situation he was going to be in to start the season, whether he was going to start the season on the PUP list or not. Deshaun Jackson, a 30-plus-year-old wide receiver who was on the decline.
A fan favorite.
And I don't care about fan favorite.
I
care about guys performing on that football field. And the fact that he injured himself by celebrating against the Dallas Cowboys.
That did happen.
And that's the last time we've seen him in an Eagles uniform.
That did happen.
The year before, he played a game and a half after getting knocked out of the Falcons game.
That happened.
Or the Green Bay game? I can't remember which game it was.
No, it doesn't even matter.
Fragile.
I got you.
And because of Howie bringing those guys back, and I understand last season was COVID, they wanted to try to bring guys back that was familiar.
Loyalty over everything. And when a player feels that way, they're gonna play hard for them, and that's what Howie's trying to do.
If that was the case, our team would never quit last season.
It backfired. It backfired because of the injuries. It backfired because of COVID. There's so many levels to this thing, and I feel like Howie gets the brunt of it. And I'm digging that Howie, like, listen.
Of course, he's not the brunt of it.
Well,
he's the one making the decision.
Let's rewind this. Not even Howie. Jeff Lurie is the one that's in charge. And you know what Howie is doing? He's jumping in front of Jeff Lurie and people are just shooting arrows. And he's just taking them. Because Jeff is the one that fucking makes the calls. Let's face it. We're going to build around Jalen Hurts. We're going to build around Jalen Hurts.
Hopefully.
Right? Who did that come from? It came from Jeff.
And that's according to reports.
Allegedly.
It never openly came out of Jeffrey Lurie's mouth. And that's
how you know you have a good number two, man. He's the capo, man.
Well, and that's why I don't know if Jalen is definitely they're going to be their starter. The fact that when we'll get into that in our show, but the fact that they openly haven't come out and said Jalen's your quarterback, because what happens if Joe Flacco outperforms him in preseason and in training
starts?
Exactly. So that's why I understand people are outraged, but.
Yeah,
you can't go. I don't see a lot of negative or positive for announcing the quarterback, but I feel the reason they're not announcing is because Sirianni on his first day said every position is up for grabs. So this is going to be a competition, and I feel management does not want to openly come out and say Jalen Hurts is our starter for this season.
Right.
And if Sirianni feels Flacco outperforms him as the guy, and the way Flacco is talking, it feels like he's a guy that wants to be a starter again, and he feels he can be a starter. So they don't want another Carson Wentz situation where they say he's definitely our starter and then bench him halfway through the season.
I agree.
But as for Howie, I'm giving him praise, but there's still a lot of negativity when it comes to Howie, and it's the fact that we don't have trust in him to make these right decisions. We have all the draft capital in the world with 3 first-round picks next season, 4 picks in the first 100 selections this season. But if he doesn't hit on them, it's not going to matter. His draft record has been abysmal. The fact I've got a stat from someone else posted on Twitter, but the Eagles have been over since I think 2014. It's been some years, like 14 or 16. They are the 3rd worst when it comes to drafting cornerbacks and wide receivers. Or 2nd worst. It was they're in the low tier of that according to Pro Football Focus when it comes to grading players that they drafted over those drafts.
That's not good.
So, and those are 2 key positions that we definitely need to hit on this season. We need to hit on another starting corner opposite of Darius Slay. We need to get a playmaker for whoever the hell is going to be our fucking quarterback, whether it's Jalen Hurts or Joe Flacco, because right now our wide receiving core is abysmal.
Yeah.
So I'm just a little. I don't want to be all down on Howie or too high on Howie, but I want to give him more credit as due. I feel he's had a decent offseason this year with the moves that he has done.
Yep.
It's still a wait and see game. I'm gonna give a full grade when it comes to after the draft, and once I start seeing this roster somewhat assembled, then we'll go from there before we completely either praise Howie or basically about to torch Howie. But right now I felt he's done some good moves. He moved some pieces that we felt were not going to be here. He got us out of the draft hell, and he brought him some veterans in here that I feel are going to be contributers to this team. So,
B+.
So overall, I give him a B+. This is the All About the Birds, Beers, and BS. Peenut, myself, Eagle Jeff. We have a great show on the other side. We'll take a quick time out. Hear a word from our sponsors. We'll discuss. There was a big NFL trade this past week in regards to one big quarterback that's going to make a big impact on the NFL draft in a couple weeks, as well as some Wrestlemania moments, since Wrestlemania is this weekend with fans in attendance for the first time in almost over a year.
Wish you were there, right?
I do wish I was there. I was supposed to be there, but that's a whole fucking different story right now. And anything else we want to discuss, make sure you're liking, subscribing, following All About the Birds social media accounts for the latest here on All About the Birds. And then make sure you also check out our website, aatbirds.com. We'll be back right after you hear from a word from our sponsors.
Support for All About the Birds is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners. 20% off plus free shipping with the code AATBIRDS at manscaped.com. Manscaped hooked us up with a bunch of tools and formulations from their Perfect Package 3.0 kit, including the Lawnmower 3.0, which comes with an LED light for a more precise shave and is waterproof to make your shower shave clean and easy. The Perfect Package also includes a deodorant for your undercarriage to prevent odors and chafing, a reviving lotion, a pair of boxers, and a t-shirt, not to mention a travel bag to store all your grooming goodies. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBIRDS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code AATBIRDS. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
And welcome back to the Birds, Beers, and BS here on the All About the Birds Network. Your co-host, as always, Peenut, myself, Eagle Jeff Warner. And again, make sure to support our sponsors. By supporting us, you're helping support them. So make sure to check out manscaped.com. Use the keyword AATBirds for 20% off and free shipping. Yep. And then also make sure, I would say, support our podcast. If you appreciate what we're doing and you like what our show is, make sure to get the All About the Birds, Beers, and BS gear at aatbirds.com/shop. Again, aatbirds.com/shop. There's always some great deals that gets you percentage off, free shipping, all that. So support our show. We appreciate everyone that has commented, texted us, called us. We appreciate the tremendous amount of support from everyone.
Thank you.
So we continue to do this show. Without you, there is no us. So
facts.
And then we also like to thank one of our sponsors, Vinny's Pizza in Allentown off of Iroquois Trail in Allentown. You can give them a call at 610-395-2300. Again, it's Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant, 610-395-2300. You can visit them at vinnyspizzapa.com if you are in the Lehigh Valley area. A lot of great specials at Vinny's Pizza. Daily special. They do have 2 large pizza for $24.99, 12 wings, 2-liter, and large pizza for $25.99, and tons of great foods. Pasta, burger, sandwiches, a lot of great wraps, including grilled chicken, Italian chicken cheesesteak. So again, you can catch them. They are located south of I-78 at the corner of Iroquois Trail and Rupsville Road. Order online for carryout or delivery. Their address is again 6750 Iroquois Trail in Allentown. Phone number is 610-395-2300, or visit them online at vinnyspizzapa.com. So appreciate Vinny or Vinny's and Caesar over there. Great guys as always.
Yeah.
So appreciate their support of here on Birds, Beers, and BS. As we shift gears a little bit, there was some big NFL news this week. I don't know if you saw it, Peanut, but it's going to make a huge impact in regards to the NFL draft as the Carolina Panthers make a trade with the New York Jets to trade for Sam Darnold at quarterback.
Huge.
Well,
like
they gave up 3 draft picks.
No, I got that, but huge. I mean, I don't know.
It's going to change the atmosphere of the draft.
All right.
So let me go over the details here real quick. So in return for Donald, the number 3 overall pick in 2018, the Jets received 3 picks, a 6th rounder in the 2021 draft later this month, a 2nd rounder, and a 4th rounder in 2022.
Okay.
So they don't get so much compensation this season,
right?
But they get
next year is going to be like this explosion when it comes to the draft. Everyone's going to have like mad first round picks, traded and all that other stuff.
The Jets are more worse off than us, and the reason they're making this move, there's definitely very little doubt that they were not moving on from Sam Darnold in some type of capacity, whether they're going to release him or trade him. Right. Because they're with the 2nd overall pick, they're not getting Trevor Lawrence, but they're definitely going to draft one of the quarterbacks, which I believe they're looking at Zach Wilson from BYU. So they feel they're going to get their franchise quarterback with him, and they don't want this quarterback controversy for a guy that was a former first-round pick and have that quarterback competition. They want to go into the year knowing who their guy is for the future. And with Darnold, I believe he's on his last year of his rookie deal or 2 more years. Okay. So they knew his time was up in New York. He wasn't panning out. I think he lost faith in management, and they found a team that needed a quarterback. And I don't know if Sam Darnold is that much of an upgrade over Teddy Bridgewater for the Carolina Panthers.
He is. But
there's a reason why he was scouted as one of the top picks in the draft a few seasons ago. So Darnold obviously has some talent. He was playing in football hell with the New York Jets. But the thing that this changes completely is a team like the Carolina Panthers that some people felt were going to try to make some type of move, maybe to get one of these quarterbacks in the first round.
Doesn't do it.
I don't feel. Some people still feel they still might draft a quarterback. Just if they feel they want a guy to hold the clipboard, sit back, relax, and learn the game for his first couple of seasons. Whether they feel so they can find out what they have in Darnold.
There's no way they draft a quarterback after this.
I agree, but some people feel if Darnold doesn't pan out, they have that guy in the wing that has sat the bench and can be that guy, that next man up, and it's not going to set the franchise back. Right. But I do not agree. I do not feel they're going to draft one of the quarterbacks or make a move for the quarterbacks, which means they're going to go after one of the skilled positions, which is
Pitts.
I don't know. It depends who's going to be there, but they definitely need a wide receiver. Right. They definitely need some quarterback help. Right. They need linebacker. So there's definitely a lot of options for the Carolina Panthers now with the, I believe sitting at 8 in the draft in a couple weeks.
What about, they probably go O-line.
No, they're not.
Well, you got McClaffrey.
You in the fucking O-line. Is everyone gonna fucking pick an offensive lineman?
Hold on. You got McClaffrey or McCaffrey. I'm sorry, McClaffrey is my wife.
Yeah, you botched that.
Love you, baby. But you have the running back. You have your quarterback. You're gonna protect the guy. You're gonna go O-line.
They're not going fucking O-line.
Why not?
Oh my god. You are.
At least I didn't go.
For a guy,
and at least you didn't
for a guy that knows nothing about the draft, you sure try to talk and act like you know shit about the fucking draft.
Tommy's my friend.
Okay, Tommy didn't feel there's an offensive lineman
I listened.
There's no fucking play or no mock draft on earth right now that has the Carolina Panthers picking a fucking offensive lineman.
No way.
Now that they got a quarterback, no.
If they do it, I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking.
Unless they trade back. Right now, the only offensive lineman that is worthy of picking out high is Sewell, which a lot of people feel he's gonna go to the Bengals. Or he might go later on, but I don't know who the Panthers' current left tackle is right now. Anyway, but
fuck.
And that's all, folks.
I'm sorry. Where's it at?
But now you have to worry as a Philadelphia Eagle. You kind of thought that the Panthers were a team that you didn't have to worry about taking one of your guys. Now you have to worry about Carolina. You have to worry about your division rivals with the Giants and the Cowboys.
Right.
And of course, who's
going to take our what are we going after?
I feel we're going after. I feel if we keep on talking defense,
right?
They're going to go after corner, which Surtain's probably they might say the 40 or the what's it called the Panthers. They might take Surtain now. That was a team that we really didn't expect them to take. We thought it was going to maybe go to the Cowboys or the Giants or one of these other teams.
Okay,
but now. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. This just absolutely changes the whole atmosphere on who's going to be available at 12.
Right. And
we know that there's reports that Howie felt there wasn't much difference in talent between 6 and 12, but in their eyes, they kind of felt with the run at quarterbacks at the top end of the draft before them that one of these players that they were eyeing were going to fall to them.
Right.
And now it still might happen, but now there's a little bit less of a possibility and less of a certainty that one of these guys do fall with now the Panthers making this trade for a quarterback because they're not going to be eyeing quarterback first round.
So maybe they trade out at 12.
The only way they trade out 12 is absolutely everyone that they want is gone. So Surtain has to be gone.
Right.
All the wide receivers.
Horn.
Smith, Chase, which definitely gone. Pitts and Waddle all have to be gone. And Horn. For some reason, unless there's an offensive lineman there, they might fucking draft offensive lineman.
Or a linebacker.
They are not drafting a goddamn
linebacker.
They are not drafting a goddamn linebacker.
I think they might.
Every single week, it's a new. I can't deal with you.
O-line linebackers.
Yeah, every single one of the Eagles picks. There are 11 picks. It's gonna be offensive line linebacker, offensive line linebacker. They have so many linebackers and offensive linemen. They're not gonna have to draft one for the next goddamn
I swear
decade.
to God, if we draft linebacker, me and you are gonna have the best show next. After the draft, we going at it, man.
But in your eyes, do you feel Sam Darnold is that much of an improvement and really makes the Panthers a better football team?
Yeah.
Shifting gears a little bit, sorry.
I think Sam Darnold, he is. I think he is. I think he's a talented quarterback that was on a bad team. So putting him with like the likes of a good running back, a good line, yeah. Cano Bliss IPA.
So Darnold has 1 year remaining on his rookie contract with a guaranteed salary and bonus totaling $4.6 million. The Panthers must decide on Darnold's 5th-year option for 2022 by May 3rd. So they're going to have to really decide very quickly if they feel Sam Darnold is going to be their guy for possibly the next 2 seasons, or if they decide that because he would be due. A predetermined amount is $18.8 million, fully guaranteed. So if they do that option, there's no going back from it. He's guaranteed at that deal. And if they feel at this moment that he's not worth that type of money, then you let him play off on his last year of his rookie deal, and then either try to re-sign him or move on from him. But I feel they're going to at least probably pick up the 5th-year option. Just the fact that they invested in multiple draft picks over the next couple seasons, it allow a guy just to come here for 1 season and then leave. I just don't see the Panthers doing that too much.
I agree.
Thank you for your input, Peanut.
I agree.
Goddamn shit show.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah, again, this is Birds, Beers, and BS. Your co-host, Peanut, myself, Eagle Jeff Warner.
You know what? AAT Best WrestleMania. Best WrestleMania.
We're about to fucking get to that.
WrestleMania. Let's go to this.
It's called shifting gears, and you just fucking dive right into the goddamn topic.
Yeah.
God damn. This is why you don't host the show. This is why you sit there and just talk into a mic and allow me to fucking run this shit.
That's Pretty much facts.
Yeah, because you just fucked everything up.
Pretty much. You know what? I'm gonna have the behind the scenes is gonna be up soon.
No one gives a shit.
It's all Jeffrey. It's all Jeffrey.
No
Jeffrey
one gives a shit.
Everyone gives a shit, Jeffrey.
God damn it.
Especially your parents.
No,
I'm playing. Let's go. Move on.
Yeah, I'm trying to move on, but you're just fucking talking goddamn gibberish.
Let's go.
And nonsense.
Let's go.
But yeah, I'm a huge wrestling fan, as many people, the viewers of the show know. And it's a big, big weekend for wrestling fanatics like myself. And it is WrestleMania 37, 2-night event this weekend on the Peacock Network. WrestleMania 37. So some big events, main events. Fuck, I don't even know how the main... I don't know the fucking main event.
You were talking mad shit on me, man.
But no, you cut me off guard.
All right.
Triple threat match for the Universal Championship is between Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
And then the other championship match is with Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. So, and then a bunch of other great matches as well. So it should be a good pay-per-view. But I know you followed wrestling a little bit in the 90s, or early 2000s. So you're a little bit familiar with the product.
That is the most... I know you followed wrestling back when it was in the 90s.
Well, no, because you don't follow
those times.
You don't follow the current product.
All right, go ahead. What's the question?
I just want to know some of your favorite WrestleMania moments.
My favorite WrestleMania moment. All right, so Alex Roberti, Antonio Roberti, Angel Rivera. They know what this shit is. This is my favorite moment was when Ultimate Warrior fought Hulk Hogan, and had both titles. My cousin cried when we watched that. Yo, Antonio, yeah, you know this. You cried when that shit happened, man. That's facts. But it was my aunt used to always have these like when it was WrestleMania, like we always used to go to my aunt's house.
Yeah, a little viewing party.
Right. So she was the only one with the box too. That's some old shit too.
Yeah.
She knew what Luisa, you knew what I'm talking about. So anyways, we would go watch the shit and it was Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. And he beat him. And my cousin cried.
Because he's a Warrior fan?
No,
or because
he was a Hulk Hogan fan. Yo, Yang, you know what I'm talking about. Put that shit in the comments down there. You know what I'm talking about. It was one of the most emotional WWF, by the way, F moments that I've ever had. It was dope as shit, man. What was yours?
I'll say, yeah, you're talking about WrestleMania 6, so you're just showing your age, dude.
So what? Yo, Phil, you know what I'm talking about.
We're at WrestleMania 37. You're talking about a match that you watched at WrestleMania.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we're at 37 right now. But there's too many to just pick one. I've been to 4 WrestleManias in my lifetime. Hopefully going to go to more in the future. I should be in Tampa right now, but under some certain circumstances, I cannot be in attendance. But there's still just so plenty to discuss. Of course, WrestleMania 17, probably, in my opinion, the greatest WrestleMania of all time, when Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin joined forces and screwed The Rock out of the fucking title.
Okay, all right.
The fact that you never thought you would see Stone Cold Steve Austin and his arch nemesis, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, join forces was just unfucking believable. All right. And then it went to one, in my opinion, a good storyline, but in some people's opinion, one of the worst storylines in history, when Vince McMahon bought WCW, put them out of business. They had this whole alliance angle, and it went to fucking shit from there. Yeah. But there's also, of course, Icon versus Icon, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. Are you fucking kidding me? The changing of the guard, passing
you do the whole Iverson Jordan thing with this,
dude. That thing was fucking. You watched that match? The division in that stadium. The fact that The Rock was on the top of his prime. Right. He was literally the guy at that point in time.
Look how red your face gets when you say to The Rock. Every time you say The Rock, it's like.
He's the Brahma Bull, the people's champ, the most electrifying man in all of entertainment.
Okay, all right.
Don't handle my boy.
No, man.
I'll be laying the smackdown here.
I was alive when Hulk Hogan slammed fucking Andre the Giant. Like, I seen that shit.
Don't live. Don't be announcing your age, bro.
I know.
But yeah, definitely one of those moments. Also, I've been to a couple big moments in WrestleMania history when the Undertaker streak ended by Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. So that definitely a great one.
Yeah.
So
that was a good one.
I was at
great.
I was at WrestleMania 35 where we had the first women's triple threat main event WrestleMania ever. So that was part of history there.
Okay.
So there's been tons of great moments here throughout WrestleMania. Hopefully this weekend's event is a good one. I'm a huge wrestling mark, so
yes, he is huge wrestling. Yo, he would everything you have upstairs is The Rock. Like, you know what? I'm gonna shut up, Peanut.
Is there any other moments you have, or is that it?
Nah, other moments. I got mad moments.
Well, I mean, other WrestleMania moments.
WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant.
Yeah, you said those two.
Hold on, I'm not done yet. No, yeah, I'm done.
God damn it, bro!
I'm done. I'm not really a wrestling dude no more, man.
You should. For you like watching sweaty guys fight in UFC. What's the difference if you don't like watch wrestling?
All right, so you. I don't like watching sweaty guys fight. I like UFC.
It's the same fucking thing.
No, it's not the same thing, bro.
You're right. At least WrestleMania and wrestling, we got our money's worth. At least we don't have to worry about a fight ending in 10 goddamn seconds.
That's a real fight, though.
Yeah, wrestling is predetermined. It's not fake. Don't throw the fucking F word around here.
Don't throw the F word. It's not fake. I'm not saying it's fake. But it's
entertainment. For everyone that bashes wrestling, fucking watch it for once.
Yo, hold on. You know what?
If you get entertainment and joy out of watching the Avengers or any of these other movies, your favorite TV shows, guess what? It's all scripted. It's all fucking goddamn script.
We gotta stop because Party Doll Dave said wrestling's fake.
That's how we're ending the show. This is all about the birds, beers, and BS.
Welcome to the shit show, about.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll say your co-host is always Peanut, myself, Eagle Jeff. Follow Peanut on Twitter at PartyDollDave1. Yes. Follow me on Twitter at Jeff Warner NFL. Check out our website, aatbirds.com, for all the latest on Philadelphia sports and the Philadelphia Eagles, especially as we ramp up to the NFL draft in just a couple weeks away. Make sure to check out our Birds, Beers, and BS, as well as all our other All About the Bird shows gear at aatbirds.com/shop to get all your favorite gear there. We have shirts, we have hats, we have mugs, we have it all. So make sure to check out the website and help support us by supporting our brand and showing off your shirts. So we appreciate the support from everyone. And then make sure you follow, like, subscribe all our social media platforms, including YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You follow us on Twitter and Instagram at AAT Birds. And then, of course, YouTube, All About the Birds, Philadelphia Sports Network, I believe is the full name of it. But make sure you follow, hit that like button, comment, tell us what you think of the show and all our programs here on the All About the Birds Network. We have a lot of shows. Mondays, we have Chips and Dish. Tuesdays, Fairways to Heaven with Phil and Jason, a golf show. Wednesday, we have the flagship show, the AAT Birds Weekly Report. Fridays, right now, exclusively on YouTube, we have the Birds, Beers, and BS show. And then, of course, Saturday evenings, we have Tom Barnett and John Ulecka with the AAT Birds Draft Show. We have a special show this Friday night with NFL and Major League Baseball AP reporter Rob Body, a good friend of the program and a good friend of AAT Birds. So he's going to be joining the guys, probably talking some NFL draft, talking what the Eagles might do, and a couple of their signings this past week as well. So we again appreciate everyone for tuning in to another episode of Birds, Beers, and BS. We'll be back next week as always, same channel, same time. We appreciate everyone for your support, and like we say on here on Birds, Beers, and BS, you drink them, you got them, and have a good night, everyone.
Don't stop it. Rest in peace, Team X.
Fuck that.